let us know. Mark and Gail, will you guys say something for a moment?
Something for a moment.
That's great.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody, again.
Okay, it's a Christmas miracle. We're back. All right.
We got 10 days of Wi-Fi out of 1.
Oh, man. Hey, thank you, Miriam, for that. Hey, Mom, glad it's
back.
working for you. Rachel, welcome back. We didn't like the way we started that service, so we thought we should just start over again. It's what we sometimes want to do during regular services. Just go back and do a do-over. But it does not happen very often. Shabbat Shalom again. Jenna, welcome back. Meredith, I know you had a couple names for healing Meredith. Put them in again so that I can write them down. Glad to see you. Hopefully you should be able to hear everyone. Why don't we, Mark, will you one more time sing Hine Matov?
3rd time's a charm.
All right.
I'm real happy everyone's in the same tabernacle tonight. So
We are.
All right. Hine matovu menayi shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu menayi shevet achim gam yachad. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hine matovu menayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu menayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Well, we get to, we have Yom Kippur where we get to ask for forgiveness. And we also, every single day of the year, you can ask for forgiveness. So we, for you out there, we ask your forgiveness for our technical issues and hope that you joined us. I think we are back to almost everyone who we had. And hopefully, if not, people will come on in here and join us. We're going to turn to Gail Rose to light the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu lecha likner shel Shabbat.
Amen. We're going to, I'm glad we're back here. Sorry, everyone. Glad to be back. We're going to jump right into our service now. We're going to find Lachado D as we welcome Shabbat. You can find that on page 20 in your Siddur or in the box right next to Mark's head. Let's join together in singing other side. Other side. Yeah, there you go. Lachado D.
Lecha dodi likrat kala yala la yala la yala la Bnei Shabbat yekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yala la yala la yala la Bnei Shabbat yekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad Ishmiyanu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'teferet v'liteila Lecha dodi lecha kala yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi lecha kala yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Likrat Shabbat L'chuvan elcha Ki magor ha-brecha Merosh mekerem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'chamash lafichila Almost Lecha dodi lecha kala Yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi lecha kala Yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Hitoreri Hitoreri Ki ba'orech Kumi ori Uri ori Shir daberi Kevod Adonai Allah Lila Lecha dodi lecha kala Yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi lecha kala Yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Hoi v'shalom Ateret ba'ala Gam besimcha uvtzola Toch emuneh am segula Boi kala Boi kala Lecha dodi lecha kala Yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Lecha dodi lecha kala Yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Yalala 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 Yalla la 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 yalla la 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 Yalla la 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 yalla la 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 Yalla la 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 Lecha dodi lekra kala Yalla la yalla la yalla la B'nei Shabbat Mekabela
So we want to welcome you to virtual TBS this evening on the last Shabbat of 2020. I've got my associate over here, cantorial soloist in training, Samantha Barlev. You may notice, by the way, that I still have my Hanukkah behind me. I'm just not ready to give up Hanukkah yet. That light we just needed, so I think I'm going to keep that thing. That thing is going to be burning all the way through 2021. We just need that extra light, that's for sure. But we're going to be turning in our service to a English reading, and then we're going to join in the Baruch Hu together. So if you have a Siddur, you could open to page 27. Otherwise, you can just read along with me on the screen. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. So we're going to join together in singing Am I Awake? To make sure that we can bust that routine away from our days. Here you go, Sam.
I don't think I can stand any closer.
You're doing just great there, kiddo.
They can't see me.
Oh, good call. Sorry. There you go. All right, there you go.
They
All
can't see
right.
my hands.
They can't. I'll make them see hands. All right. Here we go. There you go. Ready? Let me grab this guitar pick. Okay. Ready? Here we go.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Ya la 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 la. Let's hear Sam Lama. Thank you, Peanut. Beautifully done, Sam. Woohoo! Thank you. You're awesome. All right, everyone. Well, hopefully we are warmed up here for the Baruch Hu, and we are going to, before we actually go to sing Listen, we're going to read this reading together on the next page. Everlasting love you have offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them helps to give meaning to our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We turn it over to Gail, Mrs. Rose, as we sing together. Listen.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all of your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all that chatter that gets in the way, and listen
Thank you for that song, Gail. I feel like that always gives me the ability to take a breath and actually like focus on listening, which is really hard to do these days. So thank you for that. We're going to keep singing into our service. You can find the words from Mi Chamocha on page 40 or right here on the screen. Let's join together in singing our prayer of redemption.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar v'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar v'kodesh. Torah tehilo osef eleh. Torah tehilo osef eleh Adonai. Imloch le'olam va'ed. La la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So in this week's Torah portion, it's called Vayigash. We are nearing the end of the Joseph story. The story, along with the book of Genesis, actually close up together next week. We're in the penultimate Torah portion of Genesis and of this story. Thanks in part to Andrew Lloyd Webber, we all know this Joseph story very well. And in this big final dramatic moment that we have this week, I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert here. Joseph reveals to his brothers who he really is. He reveals that they hadn't actually sent him to his death all those years ago as they had thought, that he actually is alive and that he's well and that he's standing before them at that very moment. I'm sure they were feeling less than secure in that moment, but that's beside the point. What I do want to say is that Joseph endured a lot. He started out as the victim of not so great parenting when his father Jacob clearly favored him over his siblings. He was then thrown into a pit and almost killed by his brothers. He was sold into slavery, accused of impropriety, and then he was imprisoned, but still Joseph fought on and persevered. Even in what were likely very dark moments while imprisoned in Egypt, he finds a way to use his God-given gifts to help other people. And these gifts lift him out of his sorrow, and they lift him out of his prison as well. And in the end, he ends up helping millions of people when he is able to foresee a famine coming and saves up food ahead of time for the people. While Joseph kept getting knocked down again and again and again and again, perhaps we can be inspired by his fortitude and his ability to persevere in the face of adversity. He was able to take his tragic situation and turn it into something of beauty and meaning and goodness. And so it is, God willing, with us. We too can persevere. Through the darkness of these past 10 months, we have been inspired by so many acts of goodness and kindness that have persevered even when maybe they shouldn't have. We have all seen and appreciated these types of stories. A couple weeks ago, maybe you saw this. More than 900 cars were part of a pay-it-forward chain at a Dairy Queen drive-thru in Minnesota. 900 cars. That's a lot of cars paid for the person behind them without giving it a second thought. We have seen people buying groceries for neighbors, checking in on loved ones. We have seen new ways to stay connected this year, starting maybe with our Zoom Seders at Passover, and drive-through birthday parties and graduation events. We've seen it here in our Temple community with drive-in services and finding ways to be together online on Facebook or Zoom or a website or whatever. We have seen the frontline workers who put the lives of others before their own and bravely tend to patients and shop in grocery stores and teach our children and keep our cities and our towns running. We have seen so much brave behavior, so much goodness, so much perseverance. Like Joseph, we too have persevered through the goodness and the kindness of others. We too have been inspired this year, maybe even during the darkness of this pandemic. So the question of the night I'd like to ask you is, what has inspired you this year? There are certain stories maybe that have inspired you. If you care to share those, maybe you witnessed an act of kindness, or you saw a story that really touched you. So on this last Shabbat of 2020, we would love to share some of these in a few minutes later on in the service. Let us know what inspired you, what kept you going. Share them in the comments, and we'll talk to them soon, or we'll read them soon. As we bid 2020 a goodbye and kick its way out the door, so we never have to even think about it again, we want to highlight some of the beautiful and inspirational moments, and perhaps we can be like Joseph too and persevere in these tough times, and find hope when hope seems lost. So we're going to turn back over to our Amidah prayer, which you can find on page 46. And if you have a moment and want to put it in the comments here on Facebook, let us know what has inspired you during 2020. Mark, we'll turn it over to you for Adonai Sifatai.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Agid Tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Malgein Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Michayei HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Mechakel Hayim B'Chesed Michayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim So make Noflim Ve'Rafei Holim Umatir Hasurim Umakayim Emunato Lishnei Hafar Michamocha Al Givurot ומידו מהלך, מלך מימית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, נאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יחללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Amen. We're going to keep on singing our way through the back part of the Amidah, with a song we don't always sing on Friday nights, although there is a version of it in our Siddur, and this is Ritzeh. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mrs. Rose.
Ritzeh Adonai Elohecha be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilata me'ahava tikabel u'tehi l'ratzon tami avodat Yisrael.
We're going to take just a few moments to take a deep breath and see if we can let go of some of the stress from this past week. Welcome in Shabbat. Oh, Gail, I think you're muted. Because it's the last service of 2020, so we need to have some problems so that 2021 can be all the sweeter. All right, we're gonna do this again. This is this beautiful song by Portnoy, Meditation, which combines the two verses at the very end of the Amidah. Yehi l'ratzon and Oseh Shalom, asking for our prayers to be heard by God's lips and asking for wholeness. So now we'll turn it back over to Mrs. Rose.
I was just waiting for that introduction.
That's right. You knew we needed something good there. Here we go.
If 2020 was a Sabbath.
All right, Gail, whenever you're ready.
All right. Take two. Go Oh, may my words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, be acceptable before you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. O say shalom bimromav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu, Kol Yisrael, v'imheru, amen.
Beautiful. It was worth the wait. We're going to just take a look here. A few folks have mentioned what has given them inspiration. Let me scroll up here. Jenna says, thank you for saying this. Jenna says, honestly, these services have helped give me hope and inspire me to persevere. Well, thank you. Our community is being together, I think, is really, really nice for that. Steve Seeskin is saying Dr. Amy Acton was a great inspiration during this pandemic. That is for sure. And hopefully we'll see more of her at some point in the future. Howard Wagon, hey Howard, the creativity of clergy, educators, and camp staff that have kept us all engaged. Yeah, we have certainly seen a lot of interesting stuff meant to keep us all together online. Miriam says at the start of 2020, pre-COVID, I decided to write a card or letter every day of 2020. That's terrific. Keeping in touch and reaching out has inspired me. That's really, really nice. And Miriam doesn't just send letters; she sends letters that have stamps on them and stickers, and they're all always done well. So I'm sure that that effort is there with these letters as well. So thanks for sharing those, folks, and hopefully we can take that inspiration from 2020 and it can propel us through to 2021. And we can look for healing and wholeness in this coming year, which God willing we will have, because we all need big time. Speaking of healing and wholeness, we're going to turn to our Misha Berach prayer, our prayer for those who are in need of healing. We have a long list of people who we're thinking of for healing on this Erev Shabbat, and I will read their names aloud now. And if you have names perhaps in your heart, I invite you to say them aloud wherever you are and hold them in prayer. We are thinking this evening for healing of Bill Ackerman, Catherine Adler, Marcia Ames, Marilyn Altman, Adrian Atkinson, and Deborah Belford. We're thinking of Michael Berman, Marjorie Block, Paul Branson, Bob Bray, and Joan Bray. We're thinking of Lee Buden and Dave Sedarquist, and Dorothy Cohn and Rob Cohn and Lily Kovitz, Tony Diegler and Carrie Ebert and Don Feibel and Michael Fiorelli. We're thinking of Rachel Fish and Olivia Glick, Alan Goldberg, Rachel Goldblatt, Bernice Goldstein, Jimmy Green, Brad Hannon, Jessica Hannon, David Haas, Bill Hefner, Melissa Herzog, Jamie Grace Cash. We're thinking of Greg Kellner and Don Kerr and Jeanette Clayman, of Ann Lang and Barb Lucas, Fred Martin, Minna Melton, and Paul Mickelson. We're thinking of Dick Nettleman and Robert Oakley and David Palmer and Nick Parisi. Thinking of Aaron Phelan and Jackie Phillips and Ian Phillips and Jessica Rathkoff and Isabel Resendez. We're thinking of Julianne Reel, Barry Richmond, Irving Rose, Pinchas Rosenboim, June Sahara, Ralph Sauer. Thinking of Samara Sauls, Sandy Schaefer, Mitch Schifrin, Richard Schur, Robert Weiss, Lee Walkoff. Thinking of Rachel Letterman and Dorothy Collins and Susan Collins Nault and Ruth Ann Stewart. Thinking of Liz Fider, Kyle Chait, Pete Bowman, Tammy Toso. Thinking of Etel, Bat Yosef Ve'eta, and Baruch Shraga, Feibel, Ben Yisrael, Vayenta. And if there are others who we are thinking of for healing, we hold them up and we send them the love and healing messages and prayers from our hearts, and we reach out to them as well and let them know that we sent these prayers, because that is oh so effective. We're going to turn to our prayer for healing, and we join together on page 253 or right here on this screen.
source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabero imotenu b'kor Abraham lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. We say amen to that. And we're going to turn to the concluding portions of our service, beginning with Bayom Hahu. I'll turn it over to Mark for that.
Bayom Hahu Yehieh Adonai Echad. Bayom Hahu Yehieh Shemo Echad. V'ne'emar, as it is written, V'ne'emar, let it be said, God rules the earth. On that day God shall be one. V'haya Adonai, the Melech HaKol Haaretz. On that day, God's name shall be one. Bayom Hahu, Yehieh Adonai Echad. Bayom Hahu, Yehieh Shemo Echad. Ushmo Echad.
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking in the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. This week and these past weeks have brought such sadness for members of our congregation who have lost beloved ones, and we as a community have lost those beloved ones as well. And we mourn together, and we support each other, and we lift each other because that's what a community does. This Shabbat, this last Shabbat of 2020, we are in Shloshim and thinking of Angela Dement Edelsberg. We're thinking of Connie Freundlich. We're thinking of Jack Friedman. We're thinking of Gerald Goodman. We're thinking of Walter Hirschberg. We're thinking of Bruce Luntz. We're thinking of Bert Mayerson. We're thinking of Linda Rich. We're thinking of Marilyn Salen. We're thinking of Paul Schwabel. We're thinking of Morris Seeskin. They have recently been taken from our midst. We're still feeling the sting of those losses, and hopefully the hugs or virtual hugs of folks who we love who are helping us through these tough times. We remember those who died at this season in years past. We remember Emmons Abelis, Nathaniel Edelstein, Jackson Axelrod, Isaac Barnett, Rose Block, Sarah Serrani, Pearl Feibel, Francis Freed, Joy Goldman, Lee Hinton, Ernest Yaros, W. Jarvis, Eugene Jenny, George Krasa, Gary Menser, Samuel Milstein, Joe Salen, Paul Schneider, Miriam Schwartz, Irving Sussner, Dan Title, Robert Williams, and Earl Yalen. If there are other folks we are thinking of, I invite you to say their name aloud, bring them into our virtual prayer space here, and we join with our community in saying our Kaddish prayer together. You can find that on the screen here or on page 294. Yikadal v'kadash shemei rabbah, ba'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyamechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvyzman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemedu kudasham barichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen, osei shalom b'imrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who creates harmony on high, bring peace to us, bring wholeness to all who are broken, and bring healing to the world. And together we say to that, amen. We are going to be concluding in just a few moments with a closing song. I can't remember what it is, so we'll find out together as I flip to the next slide. I want to just mention a couple of things. Our regular Havdalah is tomorrow night, and our TBS programming continues. Our executive director is going from behind the camera to in front of the camera on December 28th, I believe. He's doing a fun OSU football talk, something that I will definitely not understand, but I'll maybe tune in and be supportive regardless. And there's actually a bunch of stuff happening this week, even in a week that's pretty quiet programmatically generally at the Temple. So we hope you'll join us for one of these events and that you'll feel the presence of this community together. Well, our closing song is not Tefillat Haderech, right? No, what is our closing song?
Osei Shalom.
Oh, that's right. It's Osei Shalom. All right, Mark, you want to tell us about this?
This is a newer version by Alana Jagoda, and she just made this version. I thought it just had a little bit more of a, I don't know. It got to me. It's a good tune.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
Sing us out of 2020.
Osei Shalom b'imromav, Osei Shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, hu ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Osei Shalom b'imromav, Osei Shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, hu ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom aleinu. May the one that bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one that bring peace down, peace down. May the one that bring peace down, peace down. May the one that bring peace down. Osei Shalom b'imromav, Osei Shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom aleinu. May the one that bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one that bring peace down, peace down. May the one bring peace down. May the one bring peace down. May the one.
That is a wonderful and hopeful note for us to end our last service of 2020. I should say our last Erev Shabbat service of 2020. So thank you, as always, to Mark and to Gail for the beautiful music this evening, to our community for showing up here, and we'll hope to see you all soon. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Week of healing to everyone. We'll see you soon.
Years.
Shalom. Yeah. Happy 2021.
We have Friday night service, right?
Yes.
It's Shabbat. It's Shabbat,
it'll be the
New
first
Year's.
Shabbat of 2021.
So we'll start with sweet wine and then go to champagne.
That sounds great.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו, אמותינו. מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו, אמותינו. לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו, ואמותינו. מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו, אמותינו.